Well, hi and welcome back this week. And it's been kind of a crazy week for me. I've been doing different little photography projects, and they're going to be coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks' time. But I was offered a chance to buy a Cosmogon lens, and it's basically a Helios lens, but with an automatic aperture, like the Pentagon, the Practica Pentagon lenses are. So I've been out over the past couple of days taking different photographs with it. Now the ones you're seeing now are the ones I took when I put them on my digital camera, and they are just so difficult to focus on like a digital camera without the split viewfinder you get with like an old film camera. So you're gonna, as I say, so some of them are going to be out of focus, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the ones where I've actually taken them on a Practica, and I've used my favourite Fomapan Creative 200, but I've used it at 200 ISO this time rather than actually pushing it to 400, because I've never actually used it at 200 ISO. So I thought I'd give it a go, and again, extremely pleased with the results. Well, you're going to see now as I go through them on the screen. Anyway, hope you enjoy this video, and I'll chat to you at the end. So I just want to show you a couple of the shots I took on my DSLR with the Cosmogon lens, and really quite surprising how well they come up. Now you've got to remember, this is an old film camera lens, and it isn't going to be like your modern day digital lenses, but as I say, the results are quite interesting. So I'm just going to show you a couple now, and so one of them is taken at 2.8 and one of them is taken at f8, and this is the one that was taken at 2.8, and you can see just how soft it really is. But that's what you have to expect from this type of lens. But when you close it down to f8, there is a huge difference in the actual photograph itself. And that's just one. I'll show you a couple of others that I took. And you even see the bokeh in the background will change quite considerably as well. So this one was taken at f8, and the sign is really quite, I mean, that's really quite sharp and really quite impressive. And then you go to the one that was taken at f2, and you can see, look at this, how ugly that looks, and the sign is soft. Now it's difficult to focus, and when you're trying to focus at f2, it is so much different to focusing at f8, because you can actually see it a lot clearer. I know it sounds strange, but that's how it is. One of my other regrets was when I took these shots, as you can see from these two of the statue here, the colours are different, and I had it on auto white balance, and I didn't switch it to daylight. If I'd have switched it to daylight, I don't think I've had these problems, unless the characteristics of the lens is different between f2 and f8. So I'll show you the two again. So this one was taken at f2, I believe, and then that one was taken at f8. So there's just a couple to show you of just how good the lens is at f8, not so good at f2. Anyway, let's go on with the Fomapan photos. So I'm going to take you all the way from left to right here, and the ones here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, were actually taken when I was in a place called Teddington in London. I was out there, I was out with my Olympus camera taking shots by the Thames with some Fuji film that I've had hanging around since last October, and it's been stuck in the camera for that long. But I just wanted to show you just a few of these shots I took with the Fomapan 200 and just how good it is. But again, you still have the problems with the sharpness. So, I mean, this looks great. I mean, the actual, the tones on this are just amazing. But unfortunately, I missed on the actual focusing. As you see here, the focusing isn't that brilliant. So, and let's just go through that. I'll just run straight through them so you can see. And again, what an amazing tonal rate. I mean, this looks like some sort of bacteria has taken over this tombstone. So there we go. And again, I got in a bit closer and took this one, and you still see that they're pretty much out of focus. And I think that's because I was shooting pretty much wide open. I was at f2 and wasn't able to close down. But when you see the other photographs as we go through them, you'll see just how sharp it becomes. Okay, now at the crossing, I think I was probably at f5.6 here. And looking again at the tonal range, these tops here are actually like a golden colour. And obviously that's the red man and the green man. So you can see that. So that's not too bad. And remember, this is like enlarged a huge amount on my screen. So the grain is quite strong, but I think that's because I develop in Rodinal, and you've got the development times and stuff in the description if you want to look that up, and how I developed the film. So let's come back out on that. And this one I've taken on a number of different films, and this isn't as high contrast as the other ones I did, but mind you, it was very, very, very dark where I was standing. But look at this, it's kind of sharp here, but look at this softness here. So I don't know what that is. It may be the fact that when the lens is fully open at f2, you get this real softness towards the edges. I mean, that's pretty quite near the center. And then you get to this one, which is stopped down. I think it was about f5, 6 on this one. And you just see how much sharp and detail you've got on this tree. It's just, it's amazing for an old 35-pound lens. And this is some buildings quite near where I live. Again, this was been probably done at f5.6 again, or f4. I can't remember on this one because it doesn't actually record what your aperture is. It records the shutter speed, and that's pretty much it, and the ISO you're using. And another one on the church. Again, that's not too bad. It's a little bit soft, but mind you, again, we're zooming in a huge amount. And this is the one. This is the one I'm like most pleased with. Just how sharp that is. And this was taken at f8. And you see on your screen just how sharp this is. I'm just like, my goodness, for such a cheap lens. And we went to a place called Teddington in London, or just outside London. And for those of you who live in the UK or are English, or have lived in the UK a long time, Teddington was associated with a television, Thames Television, and they had a studio there. And they used to read out the address to Thames Television, Teddington Locks, Middlesex, which was, and it was like just funny going there because I wanted to. The studios are obviously no longer there, but I just wanted to go to the lock, and there's got a really fantastic weir there, which I was going to photograph. I've done in colour, but I took a few shots. This isn't the best of shot. I mean, obviously this is all out of focus because I was too close to it, and you can see the actual weir in the distance there. And then we're just looking up onto the bridge, which is quite nice. Slightly soft, and then there was someone walked across in front of me, and I just grabbed them in the shot, and I knew that they'd be too close for them to be focused. So there's that, and this is the last one, and this is the actual weir. But just see, it's just, I don't know. I really love this film, and the lens is really, really cool. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. And just as a side note, I'm actually filming with the Cosmogon lens now. So all the video you see me talking to the camera, it's been the Cosmogon. It's been adapted obviously to my Sony camera, and it takes a bit of working out because you have to try and focus the lens. I've got a monitor on top of my camera, and then it's really hard to tell, so I have to put it into the computer and check and then refocus slightly. But it's down at f8 at 50th of a second, so that's the standard I use anyway. But yeah, so that's what it is. So hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and about the buy me a coffee, if you could, that'd be wonderful. Thanks.